What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Burndown YouTube channel. Today I want to do something a little bit different. I want to actually kind of have a discussion, although it's going to be one-sided for now. I would love for all of your feedback, comments. You know, if you can type and you want to leave a comment, I would really appreciate it, because I think that this is one of those random kind of things, especially being like a YouTuber and being in the car YouTube universe, that it's kind of the reason, you know, that I started doing this. So, the topic at hand pretty much today is the state of the car world, I would say, or the state of the car enthusiast television, I guess is a better way to put it. You know, all your car TV programs and all that stuff. That's kind of what I want to talk about, and just let you kind of guys vent to me, get your opinions, because I'm just one guy. I have my own opinion on stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I can talk to my buddies and stuff all day, but I've got quite a bit of followers on here, and you guys are all car enthusiasts. That's why you're here. So it'll be fun to kind of bounce the discussion topic off you guys. But the other thing I wanted to tell you guys, which is kind of odd. It's not really as much, I mean, it's going to sound like a flex, I guess, but I wanted to share it with you guys because it's a big deal to me, and it should be pretty much a big deal to anybody that's trying to do YouTube style stuff, or you know, make and create content like I'm doing. So I got an email, I think it was yesterday, from a major network, and they were looking for a host for a television show, for a car television show, right? We've all seen them, like on television, like Sunday mornings, all that fun stuff. I can't even talk right now, but where the guy hosts it, and they build things, and they put stuff together, and you know, all of those fun things. And it was really surreal, because when I started doing this, it was quite a while ago, about a decade ago, I started working on cars. You know, I want to be a car guy. That was verbatim what I told my wife. I said, you know, I want to build cars like the guys on TV. And my initial couple goals were to get out of the garage and start like a shop, and then move that into some form, you know, of TV. Because when I grew up and I was watching all this stuff, I'll just say it, I think Jesse James was one of the guys that inspired me. Although I know there's a lot of opinions about the man. Personally, he obviously doesn't make good choices, right? But on a level of a builder and his skill set, I thought some of his humor was a little funny. He's a lot. He was a lot to take in, but for the time frame that he was on television and those group of individuals, you know, I thought that was awesome. So obviously he'd never fly on television, I don't think, at this point with the stuff and, you know, the way things were in like the early 2000s or whatever. But he was definitely a big inspiration. It was like, yeah, build it. Like, I'm going to build this myself, and I'm going to do it. And I had no skill set or anything, but the inspiration was there. You know, like you watch a dude like Jesse James knock some stuff out, beat on some metal, and make cool stuff, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to go set stuff on fire and make it happen. No idea what I was doing. I mean, even to this day, it's funny. I just kind of wing most stuff. I've got way larger skill set now, and I still feel like I know this much, which is probably true. But with that being said, I called the guy back, right? And the only question I had was, do I have to relocate? Because I was hoping that it was local, because everything would be yes. Yeah, hell yeah, I think that I would crush a job like that. I think I'd have a lot of fun. I think I'd have a lot to bring to the table doing something like that. But I'm not really in a spot where I can just pick up. I'm not 20 years old. You know, I have a house and a mortgage, and I've got a lot going on over here. And that was the whole deal. Was studios are in another state. All the stuff's there. You got to come out. And then there was no mention of like any talks about flying back and forth or any of that stuff, which would obviously complicate things a lot depending on what the scheduling and all that stuff was. But I wanted to share that with you guys because I had previously got off the phone with another buddy of mine, and he always likes to harp on me about subscribers and the channel growth and all the fun stuff. And I always laugh, and I tell him the same thing every time we have the discussion, that doesn't matter. Like, it really kind of doesn't. What matters is that I put the work in, you know, and the thing moves in the direction I would like it to go. And I need to just enjoy the ride. That's the main thing I boiled this whole YouTube deal down to, is I don't need to be the next Cletus McFarland. I need to be Dane Thompson and do the things that I like and the things that I enjoy, and have my own fan base and my own friends and people come along and just share the adventure with me. If it goes that far, awesome. If it doesn't, awesome. You know, I've met lots of cool people. We have some great sponsors on board, and I'm enjoying the ride in my time. You know, and it's great to have people that like the content. So I don't really have much to complain about, in all honesty. So that was a long-winded way to say that unfortunately I had to basically turn the job down. And it did let me know, however, that I'm going in the right direction, because I talked to my wife. It was really cool. I had a cool moment with her, because when you say you're going to do something big and people don't really believe you, which majority of people won't, but you wholeheartedly believe yourself, you believe in yourself, and you have that one other person, like, she's been my rock. And to achieve that and go, I basically did it. You know, aside, like, if I was really adamant and I said, honey, this is what I want, she would probably pack up and we would probably go. But I don't feel like it's a good fit for my family, so there's no way I was going to put the pressure on and go, this is what we need to do. It boiled down to a want and need. Do I want it? Hell yeah, I do. Do I need it? Not so much, which is very, very fortunate on my end. So, yeah, it was cool. But the cool part was I did what I set out to do. Regardless of if I had the position I was getting paid and I actually made it to that point. For me, for somebody to call up and go, hey, you know, we think you'd be a good fit, I'm just going to chalk that one up in the win column. So that is huge. So that's a long-winded intro to show you guys and share a win with you. Like, that's a big win. That's my Al Bundy story. Who knows if it'll ever happen again? Probably not in a million years, but I can tell my grandkids, there was one time your grandpa, I almost made it. And that's really, really surreal and very cool. So wanted to share that with you guys and get your thoughts on that. But that's led me over, like, pretty much today, because I was out here working. I have a lot of time to think when I'm just beating on stuff and grinding and welding, because some of it's kind of mindless. Like, you just have to clean things, and it's not like you visually pay attention, but mentally it's not like you really have a lot of thought in it once you have your plan set. And I just keep thinking about the state of like hot rodding and like how things used to be versus what things are. And then talking to that gentleman a bit, I feel like there's still a disconnect from the mainstream to what's kind of going on. And I would say that YouTube is the forefront. This is where things are actually happening. And the legacy media, which would be like your bigger channels, you know, conglomerates, they just haven't caught up. And I don't know why they're so slow to react and to do stuff. And I think a lot of that's probably for ratings and being afraid to take a chance. And I really think they would benefit from getting some new blood in there, maybe some new programming, maybe take you know, go out on a limb and get some other show that's not, hey, we're going to build this car and then show it to people, right? I understand that MO, but the problem I have with that, and it's the same problem I have because I build cars every day, all day. I don't have cameras on me. I do it. So it's not like I'm not doing this. And here's the problem that I have with building stuff. If I have to build stuff, I understand it maybe for a client or a customer or whatever. It's their car, it's what they want. But I'm still putting my heart and soul into that thing as well. So majority of the time they get all the things they want, but they have to be fired up on it. It has to be something that they're kind of passionate about for me to even want to do the work. Because it's not about money. It's never been about money. It never will be, because I don't get paid enough to do the stuff that I do. I'll be honest with you guys. I do it because I enjoy it. And it's my passion, hobby. It's everything that I do. It's who I am. So regardless if I make a buck or not, I'm going to continue to do it until, like, I don't know, I have to start carving wheels out of stone if I'm that broke and we're just out on the streets in like the apocalypse or something. Who knows? But I'm going to keep after it. And if you have a car and you have this show where you're just whipping these dudes into building this car for whatever reason so they can just debut it at a show and then the public walks around and goes, ooh, ah, there's not a lot of soul in that. And I think the cars do have a soul because you put so much into them. You know, yeah, I understand it's just mechanical and stuff, but you guys all know, like, I name my cars, I'll freaking pat my car like on the dashboard like I'm that guy, because, you know, sometimes I'm like, woo, we kind of got by with that one, good job, car. And if you don't have a connection with that thing and you bring it to life and you give it a life of its own, people don't care. Like, if I just had the Malibu, but it wasn't the Malibu, and my son didn't name it, and I didn't have, you know, it's just some car that I beat on, and I try to go win and kick everybody's ass with it, like, like, there'd be a handful of people that still thought it was a cool car, but it doesn't have personality and style and love and passion behind it. So if you're just cookie cuttering stuff out to debut it for things, You know, you got to have like, what are you doing with this car? Why are we doing it? You know, what's the purpose behind it? So I think that's one of the things that made the Chip Foose's show special, is he'd snag people's cars and then reinvent them. So there was a story to be told there, and you could get behind it and you'd see the people crying and stuff because they were getting blown away with what he was doing. And of course he loved doing it because it's a lot of hard work and effort. And then when you see somebody break down because you made something fantastic, that's real and that's a show. That's something that people want to see. To cookie cutter, gas monkey stuff together, I get it. He was, you know, that's the other portion of the show, shows that people make, whatever. It's like, I think Gas Monkey kind of set a precedence, and they almost made car shows like junk food, in my opinion. So instead of like this full, you know, full-on full-course meal where you do like good work and stuff, it was like, let's get as much out as we can and just like overwhelm people with our content, and we're the baddest ever. And they would build crap and then have to like film it and then go back and redo all the crap that they built. Because, and it's not that the guys, not to knock the guys, I would do crap. Any of you guys would build crap. If you had like a week to put a whole thing together, of course you can't do it properly. There's no time there, right? So it makes for great TV content, but you're not putting out a good product. And that goes back to heart and soul stuff. That's like the watch me do this, watch me, like I think of that kid song where they're like, watch me, and I get it. I mean, that's the nature that we're in today. Everybody's attention span is this long, but I feel like we're kind of turning the tide on that with some of like the longer form podcasts and things, and people want to sit a little bit more and they want to see stuff that's kind of real, because I think everybody's been bombarded with so much BS that everybody's got good BS detectors these days. I know I do. I can turn stuff on, you give me a few minutes to watch it and I'll go or I'll go, that's legit, you know. And I think on YouTube that shines through really well. And it's not because maybe people are the greatest on camera, they have the best skill set. It's that you're dealing with, when you get a real individual that's actually doing stuff, like the Vice Grip Garage dude, that guy is gigantic, and he hasn't been gigantic forever, but he's the real dude, and I've met him in person. I've talked to him a little bit. My buddy John is friends with that guy. He worked with him. He was the same dude that you guys see on camera, the goofy things he says and stuff. He's just cool as a cucumber, laid back and cruised around. He was at like Race Week. And then like Cletus and the dudes from 1320, they're all exactly how they come across on here. They don't change it up, you know. Obviously Cletus has his spiel or whatever, but he's just a genuine, you know, nice dude. And I'm sure a lot of the content that people enjoy on here, that comes across. So one of my questions would be, what would you guys watch? You know, if you had a TV show idea or something, I mean, do you like the build shows? What is it you like about the build shows? Do you like the build portion of it? You know, I always hear people say they'd like to see a lot more of the work and how it's done. Well, of course they don't want to show you guys that, because it's like hours of stuff, and it's hard to make those things fun. Because I struggle, you know, when I do some of the stuff that I do, unless you want to learn about like paint work, like people don't care. They don't want to mix paint and they don't want to really see it. The guy that's like, hey, I want to paint my bumper, like I'll check this guy out. I get that part. But on a weekly basis, people are going to show up. So it has to be something entertaining. But would you want to see a more mix of that kind of stuff? For me, what I think would be cool is, the way I think about it, it would be like a band, right? If you have a band, you write all the songs, you make the album, you put it out to the masses, which would be television, and everybody goes, hey, we really love that album. Well, then you could tour, right? You take it out so that people can kind of get their hands on it and be a part of it. I think Cletus is onto something with his racetrack and like how he's doing that. But the thing I can't understand, and besides like a major force like Cletus, majority, like we don't have budgets. I don't have a budget. I just lowball it and guerrilla it, you know. But if you're a legacy media, you have a budget, and it's all numbers, obviously, but they have the advertising and the backing and all the stuff. And then how come they keep coming up short? And I don't know. I mean, you guys, if you could answer that question, I don't know what makes it magic versus not magic. The hunch that I do have, and I will say some of the best TV that I ever watched, maybe it was because I was broke and I like lived in an apartment and I didn't really have as much to do that I do now, because I have a shop and things that, you know, to work on, was food television in like the 2000s. I think it was late mid 2000s, when you had like Emeril Lagasse and you had the Guy Fieri and you had all those people, Bobby Flay. And I know all these people because I tuned in and watched it. And I didn't watch it because I like to eat. I mean, look at me. I'm not a big foodie, right? But those guys were entertaining, and they could walk and chew gum, and they knew their stuff, and they would just whip up magic. And I think a lot of the magic that people miss or don't understand, and I find this in music, it happens a lot too, and I know that that's what they were doing. Whoever was casting those people, they were on Food Network, if you have a major TV brand and you're watching this, if you can find that person, have them cast car people, you could probably knock it out of the park. That's what I've always said. The car world needs a Guy Fieri of the car world, or the Ryan Seacrest of the car world. Like, it's the dude that shows up and can do stuff, and maybe there's multiple people. I don't know. Maybe those are unicorns. Maybe that's why it works so well. But you need somebody that can walk and chew gum and do it, and that's passionate about what they're actually doing. And then what was the other one? So there was Food Network. I lost track of train of thought, but Food Network was a big one. Oh, I was talking about music. So guitar is the perfect example, right? And I know that we've all seen somebody play a guitar, like just a basic acoustic, not like some shredding metal or whatever, but like an acoustic guitar. If you bring one to a party, somebody's going to pick it up and play the thing, right? When you get the person that's really good at playing an acoustic guitar, it doesn't matter the brand, it doesn't matter if the thing's old, it doesn't matter if the thing's, you know, the strings are old, any of the particulars, you know, that somebody would be particular about when they're learning or trying to play. If a person is really good at an acoustic guitar, or guitar in general, and they pick up an acoustic, like it could be trash, they can play stuff and it sounds phenomenal. But the thing that you do when you find somebody that has talent like that is you go, let me see that, I could try that, or you want to show like I can do that, or I can learn it. And when you can get a person that can pick something up and make it look so easy that you're like, I can do that, that's when you know those people have talent. It's because they make it look easy. That's the other part too, is I don't know, you got to put all those things together, and I think that's where the magic happens. I have no idea how to do that, but with that being said, a lot of stuff is cookie cutter, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's because budgets or because of lack of creativity. It seems like there's a bunch of yes men that are on the ladders of these big conglomerates, and there's nobody that's like there to just kind of kick ass and go, hey, we're gonna try some stuff, right? Like, we started small pilot shows and you let some people have creative ideas and you just kind of ran those. I think I've seen Discovery kind of do that, and then they just kind of squash them. But it's funny because they give budgets to people that try to do the cookie cutter thing, and you're like, you can't give money to people and then try to have them all be Gas Monkey Garage or whatever, and then they all try and they're not Gas Monkey Garage. You got to let some people do some other stuff or have some creative vision, I guess, moving forward. But yeah, I don't know. I want to know what you guys think, and then I think you guys are the right target demographic, because it's like 18 to 30 or something mainly is who watches this. So what do you guys think, and what do you watch? What do you like? And if you like something, what do you like about it? You know, the only ones that stick out usually in my brain are some of the bigger names, and the reason they get bigger is because they're usually pretty good at their job. The one I would say who's phenomenal, who I never got a chance to meet or be around or whatever, was Jessie Combs. I remember watching her on TV, and I was like, man, that chick seems really cool, and she seems like she would just be good people. And I know people that have met her and that knew her. I never got the chance, but it was funny because I remember thinking to myself, one day if I got that far, I'd love to be able to meet her. You know, if I made it into the land of TV and all that stuff or whatever. But there's a couple other hosts. I mean, we all know like the general faces, and then everybody knows like the Motor Trend group or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, man. So let me know what your guys' favorite shows are, especially on the bigger channels, like regular TV. Like, are there any TV shows you watch? Is it all YouTube? Do you guys subscribe to like the Motor Trend paywall? I gave up on all that stuff for a multitude of reasons. I'm not really a big Freiburger fan. And then they went behind the paywall, and I was like, well, that's garbage. But I hear people really enjoy it, and they're like, I don't care, it's $5 or whatever it is, I'll watch all this stuff. So maybe you're one of those guys. I know a lot of my buddies, especially like the Arizona guys, they love all the roadkill stuff. And I always tell them, I go to those events because I like all of you guys, you know? So I was a fan of roadkill when it came out, and I think they had something special there for a little while. But that one seems like a couple that got divorced and they're staying together for the kids, in my opinion. Like Freiberger and Finnegan, like that whole thing, you could tell that marriage died a while ago, and it seems right about the time Dodge got involved, maybe a little bit of money or somebody's head got too big or who knows what. But they used to be a good team, and then it was like you could just tell they didn't seem like they wanted to hang out with each other. And I would imagine, I don't know if that's true or not, I don't know those guys, but the few beginning episodes, there was a handful of them. I used to enjoy those, and I used to look forward to them when they're on YouTube for free. And then yeah, my opinions got soured on all that stuff too. But yeah, don't want to really get into that stuff. Just want to share my story with you guys, let you know kind of some of the things I think and I want to see what you guys think, what your opinion is. And then this will be a fun one to go back and forth in the comment section, and I'll try to answer, you know, long-winded or whatever, and we'll stay up and pop, 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 and I'll hit you guys back. And if you ask a big long-winded one, give me a little bit of time, you know, because when I have to respond to these, if there's multiples, you know, I want to think of good answers and write you guys back and, you know, open a dialogue. And who knows, maybe we can do a part 2 if you guys come with a bunch of good points and stuff, and I can kind of address them or hit them back on video or something. But I thought it'd just be fun topic of discussion, see what you guys like. And then I think it's kind of funny because I don't know why the major brands don't sit and turn around and just ask the public, like, what would you guys want to see? I mean, maybe their ideas aren't that great, but you ask a million people, you're probably going to get a few solid ideas, right? If I asked a million car guys, hey, what would you watch? There's got to be 1 or 2 where you're like, that's a good idea, that's a good idea. Might be a lot of garbage, but hell, you're going to ask the audience, you know, and if you're getting the eyeballs, you need the ad revenue. It seems like a win-win. You put out content they want to see, that gives you the dollars to continue doing it. So I don't know, maybe I'm just simplifying things and I have no idea what I'm talking about because I'm not an executive and I have a small YouTube channel. So what do I know? You guys, until next time, keep it locked. I'm out.